Hello, classmates and Dr. Owens. Thank you for joining me today to learn more about the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. My name is Jessica Syke, and I am a DNP student at Gonzaga University. I have chosen to analyze this act because it has a direct effect on how refugees are medically screened when they arrive in our country, and it affects access to ongoing refugee health care. This act was originally put in place because previous laws gave preference to some people groups and completely excluded others. This act sought to eliminate national origin, race, and ancestry as a basis for immigration, and in turn gave priority to relatives of U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents, and to professionals and other individuals with specialized skills. This act was later amended by the United States Refugee Act of 1980. This was created to provide a permanent and systematic procedure for admission to the United States for refugees and to provide standard provisions for the effective resettlement of refugees. The main objectives of the Act were to create a new definition of refugee based on the one created at the UN Convention and Protocol on the Status of Refugees, raise the limitation to 50,000 refugees admitted each year, to initiate the Office of U.S. Coordinator for Refugee Affairs and the Office of Refugee Resettlement, and most importantly, it established clear procedures on how to deal with refugees in the U.S. by creating a uniform and effective resettlement policy. Although this act has many facets, the key elements that pertain to refugee health care are the requirements to provide refugees with an initial 8 months of health coverage through the Refugee Medical Assistance Program, to provide them with the opportunity to apply for Medicaid, and to provide a free initial health screening upon entrance to the U.S. This policy has and will continue to have a major impact on the initial and ongoing medical care for refugees in the U.S. Nurse practitioners not only have to focus on cultural competence when caring for their refugee patients, but that they must take into consideration the regulations and guidelines that have been established as a result of this legislation. This act also impacts the allocation of funds and services, which can directly impact the barriers that refugees experience in obtaining ongoing and preventative health care. Some of the programs that stem from this act work to remove these barriers and provide ongoing and holistic care for refugees. Thank you for attending this informational session. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to contact me.